So, Simple Gifts, this is the second original composition on the EP. I was wondering if you could tell me what inspired this piece.
Do you know what, I can remember this moment that we were on a country walk, my family and I. We love to go on walks together. And something I like to do with them is sometimes we like to challenge each other. So who can come up with the best 4 bars of a Christmas song? And as we were walking along, this is a true story, and I had my phone on, ready to steal anything that came in. And so my wife had a go, and then my son, and then my daughter. I'm not sure if I think I did it as well. And anyway, they're all rubbish. So I went back to the car, and I started to listen and reflect. And it's so hard sometimes to come up with something that you feel, it's almost like, I don't know, you throw something at a window and it sticks. You just know when it's worth pursuing, and equally you know when it's not. And but I did go back, I think, some days later and listen to that country walk montage, and I did find something, a nugget of something. I can't remember who it belonged to. It might have been my son, might have been purely mine. But for the sake of the argument, I'm going to say purely mine, just so he doesn't try to claim any royalties. But I do remember that it went something a little bit like. Would have been much lower because his voice is a little bit low. And but just the idea of putting the. Does it go? Actually, no. Just as a very, very simple tune, again, that evolves, doesn't try to do anything too clever, subtle, not putting too much, I don't know, not trying to put too much of a spin on it, not trying to do something that will throw people off the scent, something that will stick to the wall, something that will stick to the window. And with that one, it was just such a joy, just exploring some, I don't know, Germanic, Neapolitan 6, I guess, but just with that particular piece of music, some real warmth with those sort of Brahmsian chords in a piece that I suppose then that kind of melody reminds me of almost something filmic, you know, something you could watch on a Christmas afternoon, a Christmas movie, but just exploring harmony to its fullest, really, but always trying to step back from it a little bit and let it unwind.
Yeah, I noticed throughout the piece there's lots of shifts between major and minor, and it kind of explores quite a few avenues as it goes.
Yeah. I just felt that, particularly the first section where you have the melody. There's the first surprise, if you like. It could have easily gone somewhere else. And stayed within that sort of majory domain without doing too much harmonically, and still being a pretty good tune, I think. But actually just to try to introduce a few subtle shades and colours. And also just those moments where perhaps it just feels a brief moment of melancholy, I think, in a song which is otherwise really quite happy and singing and happily, you know, skipping along. Just introducing a few shades and colours, I think, just lend itself really aptly to that kind of song. So that's what I tried to do there.
Yeah, I mean, it really, I think it fits on the EP very well, but I also think that it stands out in the fact that, for me, it kind of harkened back to maybe some of the high romantic piano composers.
Yeah, 100%, yeah, absolutely. And I think just in those, I mean, there's a few sort of Neapolitan 6 and sort of, you know, German 6 and, you know, Brahmsian harmony almost, which I really enjoyed, you know. I think sometimes, you know, when I'm playing at home, my wife can be often heard in the background saying too much, which means, I said this before, I think, didn't I? Which means that actually I'm enjoying the music a little bit. I'm getting too muso-y. And actually there is a balance to be had of allowing people in. And I think the song treads that balance, hopefully, well enough. So people feel that it's accessible, so they can sing along to the tunes, but also there's just enough harmony to maintain the interest of people who might be interested in maybe more complex, richer harmony as well. And so there was a moment for me to really enjoy and perhaps indulge myself a little bit more on this track.
Nice. I mean, it's kind of funny that it's called Simple Gifts, but it's probably one of the more complex pieces.
Yes.
Did you think about that juxtaposition? Is that how you came up with the title?
No, I didn't, but I think were it not for the fact that the harmony and the harmonic interest in this particular song is as it was, or as it is, I think it might have just gone towards the sweet quotient, just perhaps a little bit too much. You know, were it in another key, for instance. Immediately, yeah, it's kind of nice, but you know, you almost need to find a bucket immediately after. I think just immediately it has a different kind of quality. And it's those moments of melancholy. You have to tread that balance really quite carefully. I wanted it to be sweet, but I wanted there to be just a little bit something to offset that as well. And but you're absolutely right. Harmonically, it's by far the most complex of any of the songs on the EP. But that is to offset the sweetness, if I can put it like that.
Nice. And do you have any other thoughts or reflections about the piece?
I think just how German it is, really. Just kind of in terms of the kind of Brahmsian flavour. I love Brahms, and to be able to speak to, you know, the Brahms ballads and the music that I love and grew up playing is such a joy. So I think it has its own particular and very singular place on the EP. And so, yes, it has pride of place, I think, that particular track, for what it represents.